All right. How's it going? It's Ruric Lawless Metaphysics here. And today we have a special guest in the house, Disco. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing really good. Thank you for telling everybody how special I am, because I feel very special
Well, you are.
for being here. Yeah.
Well, the reason I wanted to bring you on is one to kind of, well, it's been a long time since we talked. And yeah, I want to get your face out there, and people really kind of need to know who you are and what you do. And you've kind of been doing some really cool stuff lately, and I'd love to get into that too. So yeah, for those that don't know, I'd like to kind of introduce you, or have you introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is not really Disco. It actually started out as a kind of like a nickname, and then it just turned into my craft name, because it's like it actually had certain meaning as a nickname, but then as I turned into a magician, it has like meanings in like Latin. It has a meaning. It's like, it means like studious or something like that. And in Spanish, when I got into kind of like the Aztec pantheon to a certain degree, I don't know everything about the Aztec pantheon, but I know a bit. And there is a black sun that rises in the underworld when it sets in this world, and it is called El Disco de la Muerte. And so Disco de la Muerte, so it's like everything just kind of fit. And so I was like, you know what, this is definitely my craft name. I spell it with a Y on social media, because social media does not allow me to spell it with an I. So however you want to, yeah. I'm not trying to be, that's what, like, they wanted to see some sort of ID, and I was like, I don't have an ID. So I just used a Y, and that's why it is a Y. So either one is transferable. It doesn't really matter. It's Disco. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Also, so you have a website up, so people can come and check out your services and whatnot.
It's the best website ever.
Yes.
It was built by the coolest person. Actually, Rick, you made the website. So
I was like, where are you going with this?
Yeah, you remember?
Yes, I remember. But you have since improved upon it, and it looks great.
I would say personalized it. I Yeah. So you did I've kept your format. It's awesome. Yeah, it's great. It works really well for me. Yeah. But yeah, it's called Tao of Darkness and Light.
Oh yeah. Well, I will go ahead and link that in the description, so anyone who watches this can kind of go ahead and go to your website and check you out for sure.
Right on.
So I do have, kind of want to keep this short, sweet and simple, but I kind of want to dig a little bit into your background. I want to really for people that don't know, not that that's really public information a whole lot, but I'm curious about how you got started on the path. Like, what was the catalyst that really drove you on this path? Like, how did you first discover it and whatnot?
Okay. Yeah. So I will start with this. As far as like, whenever I tell people this story, I always include that I understand it sounds crazy, because like, if I would have met myself before all this stuff happened to me that led me to the path, I would have thought that I was crazy. Like, if I would have met myself 10 years ago, I would have been like, you're crazy. You know what I'm saying? I was like, whatever, dude, whatever. But because of the way things happen, it happened in a certain kind of way, which is definitely because of the spirits, mainly Lucifer. So anyways,
I think we can all say that, Brandon.
Yeah,
honestly,
if
we've met each other.
And then things started linking into my childhood. Then I started remembering like things that in my childhood. Then I realized that it hadn't been just a few years. It's basically been my whole life. You know what I'm saying? That the spirits have been calling to me and been around. I just was I blocked a lot of it out because of society and what we're told that we should believe in, what's real and what isn't real. Obviously, we know different now. But what the catalyst for me was, I had a near-death experience in 2016. Around this time, actually, it was close to this date. It was around Thanksgiving, so it's pretty close to now. So I got really sick, and I really didn't even know what was going on. I had a liver issue at that time that I knew that when the doctors told me that if I was going to take medication for it, it was going to be like hell. It was going to be going through hell. It was basically interferon injections and all kinds of other shit. I guess I don't really know. I never did it, and so I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So I was like, fuck that.
No.
Yeah, I was like, nah. But what happened is that I ended up getting sick from it because my liver was just deteriorating, and I was still living the lifestyle. I was in drugs and alcohol and just crazy lifestyle. Like I was doing everything. Like if any crime you could think of, I was out there doing it, and on a pretty regular basis.
Yeah.
Talking about stealing cars, all kinds of everything. You watching the movies, I was living that shit. So basically, the gods were just like, you've had enough. You've learned whatever you need to learn from this. Now we're going to take you down another road, and this is the road that I need to be on. So basically, I went to the doctor. What happened was one day my stomach just started growing.
Okay.
Like my belly just started getting bigger and bigger, and I didn't know what was going on. So I went to the ER, and I told them what was happening. They asked me if I ever had a paracentesis, and I was like, well, I don't know what that is, so I guess not. And then they're just like, well, you said your stomach's growing. I'm like, yeah, it's getting bigger since I've been here. And so like they admitted me into ER right away. Like I didn't wait in the lobby at all. And then I remember the last thing the doctor was saying that my pulse rate was like fluctuating between like 70 and then it would go up to 200 like a while. I don't know how much of that is like incorrect in my memory, but that's what I remember. Maybe I hallucinated that number. I'm not sure, but it was a pretty high number. So they took me to the ICU. And the last thing I remember, I guess my mom was there because I remember somebody saying like ICU, like in a surprised tone, as if they didn't like this, it's this severe kind of a thing. And then I don't remember shit. Like I remember waking up every once in a while, like in just weird kind of crazy states and people were around me. I didn't know who they were. At one point, I believed that aliens had abducted me. I'm serious. I thought aliens had abducted me, and then they had disguised themselves as nurses. It was insane, dude. I went through some stuff, and so basically, the way I see it now is that the old me died at that time, and it took that death, basically, and then I grew from there. When it really hit was, I remember one day I was walking. At this point, I could still walk. I can walk now, but there was a time where I could not. My muscles just kind of gave out on me to a certain degree. I can move and stuff, but the weight of my body was difficult to handle. So I remember I was talking to the doctor. The doctor came to me, and he said, yeah, you have about 6 months to live at the longest. He's like, that's the longest amount that you have. And I think we all could kind of, when you go to the doctor, you think that you're going to go see the doctor. You're going to take some medicine. Some time will pass, and then you'll be fine, right?
Right.
But this time, like, it wasn't. And, like, that's when it hit me that, okay, this is very serious. I was like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
So basically, I was like, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? Which was 6 months.
6 months, yeah.
And everything you're taught, like, to be a man or a human being or anything is, like, gone. Like, nobody wants to be with anybody who's going to die in 6 months, like, as far as relationship-wise. I can't get a job. You know what I'm saying? I had lost everything at this time. I didn't have a car. Like, I lost everything. And so I was like, what am I going to do? Like, what the fuck? So then I remember thinking to myself, like, well, I could either, maybe I could just drink and do drugs until I die, just like basically drink myself to death. But as soon as I had that thought, I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm not going to do that. That's not how I'm going out. I'm going to die, but I'm not going to die like that. I'm not going to die by giving up. You know what I'm saying? So I went for a walk in the hospital on the floor. Like I said, I could still walk. And there's like it goes around like the nurse's station or whatever, like in the elevators and shit. So as I was walking, man, I heard a voice tell me, I'm not done with you yet. And it was to my left and it was behind me. I found out later that this was Lucifer talking to me. And at that time I knew that I was going to be okay, but I knew I was also that I was going to have to go through some shit. And I went through some shit, like medically, my family, like just abandoned me. Everything that I had known in my previous life or society teaches us that we're supposed to be had just been ripped away from me. And just like, like that people really do care about other people and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I had strangers who cared more about me, and I feel it's because it was their job, which is cool. I'm not trying to like downplay the job that they did, but who they were there more for me than people that had been around me my entire life. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like I was this huge asshole. I'm kind of an asshole, but it wasn't like I was this huge asshole to where like I was just like destroying relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like, but people, it's funny how people don't realize how people will abandon you if they see there's like, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that there's no recourse. Like if they don't see you coming back, it's very easy for them to forget about you.
Yeah.
And so that's what happened, man. So like basically I died, you know what I'm saying? And so that's what it was. And from there, like it started being to where like I realized I had to do a lot of stuff myself. I was gonna have to like solve all these issues and everything all myself. So one of the things that I used to have really bad anxiety attacks, and this situation increased that. So I had to learn how to rise above that basically and beat that. I had to learn how to beat myself, which was like sounds funny, but it's it was one of the hardest things that I had to do because like you're fighting against yourself. I knew every move I was gonna make. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're playing chess against yourself. I knew when I was going to move that rook or that knight or whatever, you know, like, so how the fuck am I going to outsmart myself? You know, how am I going to trick myself into doing this or, you know, thinking I'm okay or whatever? So basically I had to learn how to beat my anxiety by learning another aspect of myself. And I got into meditation, and it was basically like a Buddhist kind of thing. Started learning how to do meditations. I got really good at meditations. And then I felt that I needed some structure, tried to do the Buddhist thing. I didn't like the rules. You know, I didn't really feel that I needed rules. And not because I wanted to go out and just break a bunch of rules. It's because like I didn't really see the point in having these rules. I think a lot of people think that like and I say with the JCI and like the Christian Islam and all that kind of stuff, they think that you have these commandments and these rules to live by, like thou shalt not rape or whatever the fuck, right? But like I don't need a rule to tell me that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I already know that I don't want to go out and rape fucking people and shit like that. So I don't need a rule to tell me that shit. So like that's why I didn't want to be, you know, like what the fuck? Like that's why I didn't want to like go by these rules. Like I don't need these in my life. I need something more. I need something different. You know, and so the occult. So I skipped a step. From there, I went on to actual like Satanism, like as far as like, and it's an offshoot from the Church of Satan. And I joined the sect, and I'm not going to go into like detail who it is because I don't follow their beliefs anymore, and I'm not trying to like shit on anybody. But basically, I got away from them because they had a bunch of rules, but honestly, there's a lot of Satanists out there who are just a bunch of assholes. You know what I'm saying? They're really just a bunch of pissed off Buddhists, in my opinion. And that's not all of them, but a lot of them, that's the way that they are. You know what I'm saying? They're like, you got to follow. Oh, are you a card carrying member? Like they got all these fucking rules. And again, I'm like, yeah, fuck you, man. It seems like it's very religious based, you know, which is all I'm doing is trading one for the other. You know? And so I got away from that. And then I started really just getting into the occult and learning on my own, which had its benefits, but it's also like, I think it kind of has its downfalls to a certain degree because you have to learn everything yourself. But it's good because you have to learn everything yourself. So you learn an aspect of like evaluation when you have to learn everything yourself. And then once you get into like working with people and getting friends, people you can trust in the occult, you're still learning from other people, but you're still evaluating things yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good aspect to take on. So I think a lot of people, when they first get involved in the path, it's very frustrating because they think, well, just give me the answer, tell me this or tell me that, you know. But what they don't understand is that by me not giving you the answer, I'm actually giving you the answer. You know, like because the answer is you, bro. Like you have to find that answer within yourself. It's the journey about finding the answer as opposed to whatever. So that's what got me in the path, is my near-death experience, and then I started growing from there. My beliefs had to change, and it took something that traumatic to change my beliefs, or else it never would have happened. Like I had other near-death experiences that did not do that. They didn't shake me enough to change my life, and it just took this one, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I could totally empathize with that for sure. I mean, I've had nothing anywhere close to that, but definitely I feel like I see this as at least a common trait among people that are really serious within the occult, that they've all reached a point in their life that the world's just been flipped upside down. You know, life as they knew it no longer existed for them. It forces them to change. It forces them to seek meaning in their own life, you know. So I wanted to backtrack just a little bit with what you said there. So I understand that this whole experience for you just really shook things up and made you search for other things? Like what necessarily got you onto the occult? Like, were you reading something one day? Was it always in the back of your mind, and you're like, I've always wondered about this, let me find out about it? Or what was the defining moment that were like, I want to check this out? Was it when it started with that voice, or what?
No, okay. So it's really hard to say if there was a defining moment because I had never known anything about the occult.
Yes.
And that's why I always say the first thing that I started doing was within meditation, was within Buddhism, because it took that step. I got into Satanism a little bit, but then again, that kind of opened my eyes to a certain degree. Yeah. And I will say this, it was like a practical Satanism. So it was like, they don't believe in like spiritual stuff like that. Everybody has their own beliefs or whatever, right? Yeah. So that actually gave me like a good standpoint on like how to evaluate certain things as opposed to just believing what everybody says, kind of, so I do appreciate that step, and I think Lucifer led me down that step. So there was in my studies, there was one moment that made me realize what I needed to do, and it was with Lucifer. And I remember I was in this room actually right here before I had any furniture. I was just the bed and I think a nightstand. I didn't have a TV or anything like that. And this is like a studio apartment. It's very, very small. Well, over there is the east where I have the Star of Algol hanging over there. That's the east. Yeah. So basically what I did is not to plug anybody, I'm not associated with these people at all, but I went online, found a prayer to Lucifer from the Temple of Ascending Flame. Mm-hmm. I found that, and then I basically just faced the east because I read somewhere that's what you're supposed to do. And because like the practical Satanism wasn't working for me, you know what I'm saying? I did learn some things that I could use later, but that wasn't it. I faced the east and I said the prayer, and then I felt this feeling. I felt nauseous. It was a very powerful feeling, and I don't want to say I passed out, like, because I didn't lay down. I didn't like fall and hit my head or anything, but I laid down and I woke up later. I don't know how long it had been because I wasn't like trying to time myself or anything. It was nighttime when I laid down. It was nighttime when I got back up. But I would say as far as a defining first moment, that was a pretty big defining moment as far as like, that's when I realized that Lucifer was a big part of my life, and that he was willing to work with me. You know what I'm saying? Which was huge for me because there were other things that were going on in my life that people had told me Lucifer is like talking to you. People I didn't even know. Like I was already in occult circles on social media. And there was one guy, I think before he went crazy, I'm not really sure what happened to him, but he was saying like, if any demons want to work with you, hit me up and I'll let you know who it is. And so I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So I hit him up and he told me Lucifer. And so like, and then I had another person tell me Lucifer wanted to work with me. And then so, I was trying to like, not let my ego get involved even this early, but I was like, okay, well, let's see what's up. Then you want to talk to me? Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? Kind of a thing, because all the fear of being afraid of these entities was gone. Because basically you're thinking like, what is there? Like, you don't want to like, I had already faced it. You know what I'm saying? Like all the worst things that could happen in my mind, like my near death and all that shit, my shitty ass life. I had already faced all that shit. So I'm like, what the fuck do I have to lose? You know what I'm saying? Like, my life doesn't belong to me now. I didn't try to sell my soul or anything like that. But I was like, basically, like, I don't have anything that belongs to me now. So I did that. And then that was like the big first step, I feel, in my spiritual path. You know? There were other times as I learned to channel later on. I remember that reinforced that. I remember I actually... The last time I ever prayed to God, the Christian God, I remember I asked him, I was like, hey, I asked for permission because that's what I was taught to do. Yeah. And then this is the first time I channeled without even knowing that I was actually channeling. In my mind, I heard a voice tell me like, yeah, go ahead. You never really belonged to me anyway. Because I remember I asked, I was like, hey, can I do this? Is this okay that I go down this path? And that was the response that I got. And I was like, wow, that's very interesting. You know what I'm saying? Which made a lot of sense, though, because at that time in my life, I would go to church. Not at that time, but I had been going to church. I'd done church like a good chunk of my life.
Right.
And I never really believed in it. I just went because they made me go.
Right.
You know, even when they asked me, do you believe in this and this and that? I'd been baptized and all that. I never believed in it then. So I don't even know if I was really baptized. I wasn't ever into it. You know,
Yeah.
it was just something you did. Kind of like going to work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you don't want to go to work, but you need to make money. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like that. And I had seen religion fail everybody in my life and other people's lives, even people that weren't really involved in my lives. I'd seen religion fail them at every end, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'd see my grandmother, like, it failed her. You know what I'm saying? And I see people on the streets, it fails them. Like, even now, I see people on the streets, they call themselves Christians. They're smoking crack and fucking shooting heroin or smoking ice, whatever the fuck it is they're doing in the corners over there. I can go outside and watch them right now. You know what I'm saying? But they will say God has their back. And I'm like, dude, he's like, you're destroying your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is your God? You know, like he's doing this. This is, you know.
Yeah.
But anyways, so that the main turning point I think for me was whenever I sat in the corner. Sorry, I kind of went off a little bit. There was a lot there, you know. So
There's a lot there, man. There's definitely some big subjects there, man. Great topics, definitely to dive into for sure.
But we're keeping it short and sweet, as I remember you saying. So that's in my mind as well. Yeah. My memory has gotten better, Ruric. Yes, I've known you for quite some time, and my memory has improved. And I would say because of magic and because of like some of the techniques I've been taking on recently, I've been practicing vampiric techniques and things like that, which have been helping me like physically and mentally. So
yeah. Absolutely. Well, that's awesome, man. I always enjoy hearing. I know we've talked before, and you know, like I said, we've known each other a long time, and I remember you first telling me this, man, and I always like hearing just how people stumble on this path, you know, and it's because there's little similarities that I find with most everybody that stumbles on this craft, you know. I don't know, it's just interesting how it shapes your life and the epiphanies people have and how their perception completely changes, you know. It certainly did for me, you know, and so I always enjoy hearing that, you know, what drew you to the path, what got you on it, and where are you now, you know. And you know, I've known you for a long time, and I could say just over the past several years I've seen you really grow, like sprint, really. I mean, you just kind of like took off, you know. I see the new rites and stuff that you're offering now, and I'm just like, this guy, he's doing some awesome stuff, man.
Well, what I think it is, man, it's not really about like, let's say there's a time frame that it's involved, right?
Right.
But there's also like if I go to college and I study semester, I take one class per semester. It's going to take me a lot longer to do something to get into my field. But like basically all I do is like I dive into the occult. Like there's been times in my life where like I had a choice between certain things or I've gotten like really just emotionally shit on for whatever reason. Sometimes women, sometimes friends or ex-family, you know what I'm saying? Or family. I can't say ex-family. I guess you're stuck with them. But it's like, and I haven't killed anybody. I didn't kill anybody in my family. I'm not confessing anything here. But like I had two different choices. I like before when I would have like dove into drugs and alcohol or something like that. Now what I dive into is the occult, is like learning about myself. So and I had a lot of that to do because drugs and alcohol was a big like gateway for me. I'm not saying that drugs and alcohol are bad for everybody, but for me, I had an addiction. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I replaced it with the occult.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's like I needed it, you know? And so like that's what it is, man. Like I basically wake up and I'm doing magic like all day, you know, one way or another, meditating or something like that, you know, just doing something. It's hard for me. Actually, I won't mention that, but it's hard for me to like, you know, not do something magically every day. You know, like if I catch myself watching, like if I watch more than one movie in a day, I'm like, okay, that's too much, bro. You know, you got to do something. Like for real, like you gotta start like the discipline is there, but there's also like the passion is there, you know. You have to have both, bro. Like if you don't, I think I made a video recently about like natural talent and devotion. You have to do something, or else your talent is wasted. You know.
Exactly. You got to prove upon yourself in every
Exactly.
aspect,
Yeah.
and devotion is a big part of that.
Yeah.
So,
And I want to say too, man, like I've seen you grow really fast, really rapidly as well. Like I remember when we first started talking, it's also night and day. Like you've grown really, really fucking quick. And I could see you have an aura about you just even now, you know what I'm saying? That's like very powerful. You've always been powerful. I think you know that. Um, but it's like I've seen you grow so much, and it's like, I know, and I know I can trust what your perceptions and everything. You know what I'm saying? So I'm stoked to see that we're both growing on this path the way that we are, man.
absolutely. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like yours, because I heard you say that you haven't been through anything like I've been through, but like again, I know you, and I know you're not mentioning the stuff that you've been through, but you've had a fucked up life as well, and you're just not
Mhm.
talking about it. You know what I'm saying? At this point, maybe in the future you will, but I'm not going to put you out there. But you've
Yeah.
also been through your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so yeah, I think you have to sink or swim, bro, and you're definitely
It's
swimming.
true.
You've
Yeah.
swimming your whole fucking life. You've done some amazing shit in your life, even before you became an occultist. I think, uh,
I
and hopefully
appreciate
that comes out as people get to know you, man. You're fucking cool. You're amazing motherfucker. Honestly,
I
I'm
appreciate it.
always impressed by you. Yeah, and when I think about the shit, I was like, this dude used to be a fucking fireman. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I was like, wow, like you're amazing, bro. Like for real, straight up.
I, I I think this podcast is supposed to be about you, bro.
Oh,
But I
okay. Well, I'm just
appreciate
telling you. Don't forget how
it.
awesome you are, man.
Thank you. I'll take them. I'll take
All
all
right,
the
all right.
compliments.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But
All
yeah,
right.
no, I hear you, man. Well, but I said I can empathize is because I cannot, I definitely have been through shit myself,
Yeah.
and yeah, I have no shame about talking about all that, but I definitely don't have like a near death experience where I was given a timeline, like,
Mm.
this is it. All you got is X amount of time and that's it, and I'm sure that shakes you to your core. And you're like,
Makes you
fuck. Yeah.
makes you shave off like whatever isn't fucking useful.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's basically what I did in my occult practice. I had to take on that mentality as I like what the fuck is important now because I don't know how much longer I'm gonna live. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Obviously, it's been years now since that happened, but that mentality doesn't leave you when it comes to
Yes.
near death shit. You know what I'm saying? So like it's like okay, I got to make every fucking moment count as
Yeah.
much as possible. So like I don't have the 10 years that it takes for me to do all this stuff and grow spiritually and do all, you know what I'm saying? I might have a week. I want to grow as much as I can in that fucking week. And then if I have another week after that, cool. If I have another week after that, cool. But I'm going to grow as much as I fucking can, as fast as I can.
I love that attitude. I love that mentality,
Mm-hmm.
because ideally we never know. No one knows.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think I want to know the date I die, but who knows? I could only be alive for another year, so why waste it?
Yeah.
And I understand what you said earlier about how, you kind of traded everything that was so significant in your life at one point in time for magic. That consumed your life. Now magic consumes your life. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that happens for anyone that's really called on this path. It's not really a hobby. I mean, it might start out in
Yeah.
that way for some, but I mean, when you're dedicated, and you just the passion is there, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just find a way to make it your life because it is like
Yeah.
it's become such a core thing for me. Now everything else has to mold around my practice,
Mm-hmm.
who I date, what I, where I live, everything,
Yeah.
everything is, magic for me is a lifestyle. It's everything. It's not a
Okay.
hobby. It's not, like a part-time dogma thing or something, go to church on Sundays kind of thing. No, it's central to my being. So it really changes everything in your life. And it's interesting to watch over the years, or even over an extended period of time, how you are constantly evolving and constantly changing. I like what you brought up before, how you knew yourself and like that you'd have to battle yourself. You knew what you were going to do and like had to really go about it and how that was tough. And then I think that's the toughest thing anyone has to do is battling yourself. I mean, I think that is that's a major stepping stone in understanding how this path is, man. It's like therapy times 1,000, you know?
Yeah.
It really is. It forces you to go through your whole life. It forces you to face everything about yourself. Whether you like it or not, it'll be flushed to the surface and you'll have to deal with it. You know, it'll make or break you, honestly. And so those that are dedicated and stick to this path, then you can see them evolve and see them becoming the best that they can be every point, every day, man. It's great to see that. And with you, man, I love seeing it, and I love seeing all the new content you come up with and how you grow as a person and magically, man. So it's been an honor and a privilege getting to know you, knowing you these past few years, and yeah, it's been great. And for people that don't know, Disco's also working behind the scenes with the new project that we have going on with the Death Notes. So we still have yet to do the ritual for all the books. All the books are made, but we still have this giant ritual that we're trying to pinpoint exactly how we're going to go about doing it. But Disco has been an integral part in helping with that. And so, yeah, hopefully it shouldn't be too much longer, but they'll probably, I wonder if they'll even make it on the site. We have people requesting it. So
yeah, I think you were saying that you're pretty much sold out already. Yeah.
Yeah, there's only a few left that are available. So like I said, we'll see if it'll make them on the site.
If people want to get on, they better get on, honestly. Yeah, because it's a great idea. It's fucking badass. Yes. And the spirits that I have worked with in order to contribute are definitely about it. They're like, yeah, you know.
Fuck yeah.
So it's going to be fucking crazy. Yeah. I'm glad that you guys have a screening process, because obviously that's
yes, you know, I don't want, you know, this really is like a nuclear bomb in your hands. You don't want just anybody in it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, and you know, it's at least the people that have reached out and have kind of reserved the books are people that we would have already approved of, being like, yeah, totally. So I mean, I feel like there may not even have to be a screening process, because the people that are going to be called to want one and get one will probably, you know, be the people that should have it. So, and I firmly believe that's going to be the case.
Right on. Yeah, I think so too. I think the spirits are not going to just let anybody have these books.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But speaking of new stuff, man, tell me about your newest rite, man. I thought that was fucking amazing. Is you call it the Soul Drain, right? Yeah.
Yeah, man. I was trying to think of a name that described it all, because there's so many fucking working parts in that rite.
Yeah.
So I was just like, Soul Drain, you know.
Soul Drain.
That's enough. Yeah.
It works.
So basically, I do not drain your soul, because I had somebody mention, like, why do I want my soul drain? I'm like, I don't drain your soul, bro. It's like, I'm not trying to talk you into this. So basically, there's two. It has different aspects. So it first starts out with, like, either you can use it as a curse, or if you just have a victim that you just want to take their energy. So I can actually even drain them and like curse them if you want to, or just drain their energy. So that's a choice that you have. So it's kind of like you have different choices. You know what I'm saying? So I drain the person's energy. You pick the target. If you do not have a target, I have plenty that I can provide for you. There's a lot of shitty people out there. So yes, Texas has a lot of shitty fucking people. Yes. I never knew why I was in Texas until I started doing this right. So basically,
it's perfect.
Yeah, we get them in the mail. They have like child molested. If you can't find a target, there's a plenty of fucking pedophiles out there. You get notifications in the mail about the people. I always tell people to practice. If you want to practice cursing, that's the good way to do it.
That's perfect.
So anyway, so yeah, I drain them of their energies. Like if you want a specific aspect of this person, like if you want like I can drain that specific energy base from them, but it's not necessary. I would actually encourage you just to drain their energy in general, and then from there, I work with Lucifer, Nama, Mictacatzihuet, who is the aspect of Santa Muerte that a lot of people, I don't think they understand. They call Santa Muerte a folk saint, but what Santa Muerte is actually a mask of the goddess, the Aztec goddess Mictacatzihuet, right? So, and then I work with also Mictlantecuhtli. So Mictlantecuhtli is the masculine aspect of the Aztec death pantheon. So you have, in the Aztec pantheon, there's like husband and wife and a lot of the energies, right? So the death energy has Mictlantecuhtli, Santa Muerte, and Mictlantecuhtli. So those are those two. So I work with those four. So it's, Lucifer, Nama, Mictlantecuhtli, and Mictlantecuhtli, or Santa Muerte. And then basically, after I drain all that energy, I empower you with that energy. And then it's honestly, man, it's really powerful. It's super, super strong. I think it's the people that I've done it on already are like, this is like the strongest one you have, and all of mine are really strong. You know what I'm saying? So
I know.
You know. So so from there, I also add, which I learned from JS did a rite of deification on me a while back. And actually, one of the cool things that he did is he like taught me how to do it. So I use an aspect of the rite of deification. However, I do not make an animal sacrifice. I sacrifice my own blood in the ritual. So I give a deification aspect as well. So that is an empowerment as well. So I include all those factors. So I drain the person, give you their energy, plus the energy from those four entities to empower you. And then I also do a deification aspect at the end of it. So one thing that I do, I also channel a sigil for you. So a personalized sigil. And this is like the way that I either pull your energy body forward. I can just use your picture, but I can channel a sigil for you. So that also comes with the package as well. So I give you your sigil, and you can use this in future rites, or if you want somebody to, like, if they want to go to you next and have a rite, they can actually, it's just like a sigil, like just like a god or a demon or whatever. You have your own sigil now, and that's how people connect to your body, your energy body, your astral double, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You call it, and basically empower you or whatever, or curse you. So don't just give this fucking thing to anybody.
Well, yeah.
All right. So don't.
It's
whatever.
It's just as potent as putting your magical name out there.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, you don't want to just share this with anyone. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
That's all I was saying.
Jesus.
Okay.
I was trying to be. No.
Sorry. So I mean, that's it, man. Yeah. So it's like I don't know how else to describe it, but it's fucking super potent. You know what I'm saying? I think with anybody that knows anything about energy, the energy is going to go where it needs to go, or where your gifts lie. If you're like healthy wise, you're just perfect and everything's fine and whatever. And the energy will go to wherever like your gifts lie the most, like whatever is the best. And if you have like your third eye, it'll sharpen your third eye vision or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or unless you direct it somewhere yourself or ask me to direct it in a certain kind of way specifically. Right. Other than that, if you're like, if you just take the energy as it is and like you need to help healing or whatever, it'll go where it needs to go.
Yes.
So it's kind of like water. You know what I'm saying? It'll always go where it's supposed to go. You know? Does that make any sense? Whenever water rains, it goes to the lowest point. The lowest point is where the energy needs to go. It's going to find its way there. That's what will happen, basically.
I like how you amended that metaphor. That's great.
Thank you.
Yes, but that is the specific point that I want to touch on. That I know we just discussed earlier, which I think is actually really cool. I mean, not only are you really vampirizing the crap out of someone and taking all their, and you're filtering that out and everything. It's only the good that you're taking from them, but that's another way to enhance you psychically as well. Any magical gifts that they have. If you don't have them unlocked into yourself, that can help unlock them.
Oh, for sure.
Well as enhance what you already have going for you. So, I mean, the benefits there are numerous.
Most definitely. And I always want to say, as far as like filtering stuff out, the technique that I use is I have a personal servitor that does all that like for me. You know what I'm saying? So it filters all that shit out already. It's already pre-programmed. I got my own personal servitor, which is another service that I have on my site. But like personal servitors, I don't know how many people actually utilize them, but they do a lot of cool stuff for you. Basically, you can create them and to do whatever it is you want. So I have a personal servitor that filters all that bullshit out. It's all like already, and then it's already there, and so you don't have to worry about picking up any like traits from the person. I've had that question, like, am I going to pick up traits from the person? Like, no, you're just taking their energy. It's like all that, all the bullshit that makes them the shitty person that they are, that basically probably makes you want to vampirize them. All that's going to stay with them. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about like taking all that energy. You're just getting all their good shit, you know? So you can take anybody's like, and I've done this, like take their money hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like their ability to make money. So, you know, some people are just really good at making money. You can take that from them. You know what I'm saying? To a certain degree, you know, and the more you do it, the more you can take from them. And this rite, I priced it at the price that I have, because you can come back and do it over and over and over.
Yes.
You know, you can do it like once a month if you want to, and it'll just enhance you. Basically, you're just growing consistently. So
that's awesome. I'm definitely going to take advantage of that ritual for sure.
I got you. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to touch on for people that are unfamiliar with your work or anything like that, you have a lot of empowerments and attunements that you provide. I will say that you, by far, anyone that I've ever met, especially in this occult field, man, you have the specific talents when it comes to energy manipulation. Like all the attunements and empowerments that I've gotten from you are just powerful, man. I can feel all that energy. It's so tangible and palpable, man. It's strong, absolutely strong. And there's a lot of good that comes from that, man. But I wanted to touch on that since it seems like that is a great aspect to a lot of the workings that you do. So for those that are unfamiliar with what empowerments are and attunements are, would you mind touching on that for a bit?
Yeah, sure. So basically, an empowerment is like I just fill you with the fucking shit ton of energy, like dependent upon whatever entity like I can get it from. But basically, an empowerment, I ask spirit for, like, let's say certain sigils or energy signatures. So I tune to these certain energy signatures, and then I just like flood you with those energy signatures. And so the energy goes again where it needs to go. So an attunement is different. And I got this from, like, my whole journey started with, because I was very sick and I wanted to learn how to heal myself. I started with learning how to heal myself, and started with energy work. Right. So with energy work, but the traditional energy work that I started studying at first was 2 week. And so since I was learning how to channel, since I knew the first entity I channeled with was Moloch, and he actually helped me out with a lot of this. And so I asked, how can I make this stronger? And I actually started getting the darker aspect of it. So that's how I learned how to make it stronger. And then from there, I could just, like, since I started channeling this, I just basically channel from whatever entity, like, so the custom rites, I'm glad you touched on that. The custom rites are actually my favorite to do, because I can actually just do whatever it is you need. Let's say if you want to connect with a certain entity for whatever certain reason, and you're having trouble doing that, I can do an attunement to that entity and give you the sigils and the mantras to build on your own practices specific to you. You know what I'm saying? Because this path is very specific to you. The difference is with the empowerment, they're similar. So I basically pull your energy body or your astral double forward to me in this space. Again, I mentioned my personal servitor, because the personal servitor, I have programmed it to protect the space. So that's already done. I don't need to do any shielding. It's already taken care of, right? And then I pull your energy body in front of me, and then I basically draw the sigils that I channel from the spirit, or whatever spirit it is you want. I'll just say spirit in general, but like, this is also whatever spirit you want. And then I, like, basically tattoo them, in a sense, into your, like, chakras or dantian or whatever, and then, like, implant them inside of you. So now you have this energy signatures inside of you. So whatever it is you wanted to change about yourself, or you wanted to grow powerfully, whatever, you now have that within you. Now the thing about magic is, like, your dedication is the thing, right? So it doesn't matter. You're not just going to get these powers and be like, okay, now I have fucking psychic powers. You still have to work at it. You know what I'm saying? Just like with anything. So, like, that's why I give the sigil and the mantra. So as you work with the sigil and the mantra, you grow in your practice, and all that is dependent upon your devotion and, like, you know, your natural talent or whatever, you know. So, like, if you have a natural affinity towards, like, your third eye being open, it's going to react to you quicker. You know, you're going to have that ability faster. Somebody who doesn't may have to work a little bit longer, a little bit harder, but you have the tools there to do it. And I'm giving you specific tools for you. So that's the attunement and the empowerment. So the empowerment, basically, I do the same thing, but I just fill you with energy, with specific sigils that I have already acquired, or if specific sigils that, like, if you just want an empowerment for whatever reason, I can acquire certain sigils for. I think I remember when you were driving, I did that for you to kind of help you stay awake.
Yeah, I remember hitting you up. I was like, man, give me some energy, man. I need some energy. Like, I need something. You know, I'm falling asleep at the wheel, and I can't. I got like 10 hours to go. You're like, I got you. I got you. And I tell you, man, that was intense. It was like taking like, 10 5-hour energy shots, man. I was like, I'm ready. I go all day.
Right on. Yeah. I remember you were telling me, it's like, I'm fucking driving faster now.
Driving faster now. I was really slow below the speed limit now.
I can hear the engine in the back. You were just hauling ass. I think you yelled at a couple of people, a couple of truckers. No, I'm just fucking. I made that up. You didn't do that.
Yes, but, that's a testimony in itself, right there.
Exactly. Yeah. So but basically anything that somebody would want, I can do that for you. So basically, I tune into the certain energy signature, and then I attune you to that energy signature. So whenever you call upon that energy signature, you resonate with that energy signature. If that makes any sense.
Oh, absolutely.
So, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's not like you're always going to be in that. So if it's like becomes overwhelming for you, so this is good for other reasons. Like, so you have to work on it. But if it becomes overwhelming for you, you can actually take a little break. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes these energies are pretty fucking strong. And especially if you're like very sensitive to energy, it may be kind of overwhelming. So you can just stop in the middle of it if it's like too strong. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So just take a chill and come back to it later.
Or you can just power through it. Be like.
Which is what I recommend.
Yes.
But some people are like, they get kind of scared. They're not past their fear part yet. You know what I'm saying? They haven't had that trauma or whatever. So if you're not past the fears, or you don't understand that for whatever it is, you're not, you're still afraid of stuff, or you still think that demons are coming to get you or whatever, you know what I'm saying? If you think all that kind of stuff is going on, you can regulate that, so that's a good thing about that. But like Ruric said, I definitely recommend that you power through it, because it's going to take you to that next level.
Absolutely. I remember one working specifically that you were doing with Oshun. And that was intense. I mean, just like I would just went into like this immediate trance state. I mean, you're already kind of relaxed to begin with, but man, I just went deep. I remember that was a whole rite in itself.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing why I encourage people to do like personal stuff, because when you do personal things or like entities that resonate with you, we've already been an hour and 13 minutes. So I guess you want to try to wrap it up quickly, or?
Yeah, we'll just go with the flow, man.
Okay. So so like different energy signatures are going to resonate differently with other people. So if you see a rite, so as far as the latest one I have, I think that's going to be more tailored towards like, towards you, specific like people. But if you have a rite, like let's say if you did the Oshun one, and everybody is not necessarily going to have that exact same experience. You know what I'm saying? So like, I want to like, that's another thing too. So when you're picking rites, I have a lot of rites on my page. A lot of entities, a lot of stuff has come through, and you've helped me with some of them. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of those, man, are just like, whatever one calls to you is the one I recommend that you get. You know what I'm saying? Go by the testimony and be like, okay, this dude is real and everything. However, don't be like, oh, this guy had a badass Oshun experience, so this is the one I want. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not necessarily, you're not necessarily going to have the same experience that you did, because I've had that happen. You know what I'm saying? So it's dependent upon like the entity wants to work with you or whatever, so just do whichever one calls to you. That's going to be the best one. If none of them's calling to you, hit me up. You can email me on the site. You can find me on Facebook. I'm sure you'll find social media. Not trying to. Yeah. But so you find me on social media, and hit me up there if you want to. Also, but if you, I have a business page on social media as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well,
so
if you want, just go ahead and send me that, and I'll put that in the link.
I will.
Put the links in the description. Yes.
Sure.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Totally. Yeah.
Well, this is about. I think it is a good time to kind of wrap up some things. So I appreciate you coming on. It's been great chatting, great catching up, and I think we covered a lot of good stuff, man. So yeah.
Yeah, it was really good talking to you. Me and Ruric talk semi often, so it's not like this. I haven't talked to him in years, so I don't want people to think that like we haven't talked forever. I know you have like a persona that we're trying to play right now, but Ruric's my best friend ever in the world. I love you, man.
Yesterday, it's been a long time.
Yeah, we spoke like earlier today.
True enough.
But,
all right, man. I want to thank you for coming on, man. And yeah, hail the Infernal Empire. We'll have to do this again.
All right, yeah, cool. Take it easy, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, man. Have a good night.
You too.